Hello, it's the God's Point Chat podcast. I'm pretty sure we have. Don't laugh at me. So we have 4 people today. I'm. My name's Avery.
Lachey.
I'm Seth, a.k.a. Scooby-Doo.
AD, the problem solver.
Okay, yeah, that's the people.
Okay.
Somebody walked in, but we're gonna ignore them because they were late. Kidding. You can get in. You want to switch spots with her? So our first topic is going to be about the most recent school shooting in Georgia. A 14-year-old who shot about 13 people. 4 were fatally. I think 2 died and 9 were injured. Yeah, that.
I mean, that's just,
Where did this take place at?
Georgia.
Northeast
Georgia.
Atlanta. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure they're trialing him in court as an adult. For an adult crime.
I mean, that's basically, that's not, I'm not too much of a lawyer, but that's I want to say dang near close to capital murder almost.
Mass murder or genocide.
That's also a fair point.
What do you guys say about that?
It's inexcusable. There's not a good enough reason to do that. The only way something like that is halfway justifiable is if the people in the school ganged up together and killed members of his family or something, and justice wasn't served. I'm sure that wasn't the
Or
case.
John Wick style.
I'm definitely sure that wasn't the case. So that's inexcusable, and it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Yeah. People need to make responsible decisions and better decisions. It's so unbelievable that it's unbelievable. You know.
Did they ever find the reason why he did it?
They're probably gonna they're probably gonna ask him why in court.
Yeah, I don't think that was actually discussed. I mean, we can definitely speculate as to reasons why normally.
Main reasons are normally bullying or mental health.
Yeah. And that's definitely a huge issue right now.
Mm.
I mean, it's just sad to see, a 14-year-old just throwing away his life like that. Because now he's going to be behind prison bars for the rest of his life.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you actually think that a 14-year-old is capable of making adult decisions that should put them in a position to be charged with murder?
Yeah.
I mean, he killed 2 students and 2 teachers.
I mean, at the end of the
And
day,
injured 9 others.
if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
True.
And you was taught the concept of cause and effect when you were 7 or 8 years old. He knew what he was doing when he was doing it. I mean, you can't cut him no slack based on he's 14 years old
or he was bullied. He was sad. Murder is murder.
Right. So what if hypothetically they came out and said that he maybe had a mental illness or anything or something of that sort? Would you guys?
You already know the public defender's he's gonna argue that case. They
Right.
always make that case.
Yeah.
Especially with teenagers. If it's adult, they're just they're given death row depending on how many.
You ever seen South Central back in the day?
Nope.
OG Bobby Johnson.
Yes.
Nope.
Like me and some of the homies would have lightweight conversations about that. You know, the part when J Rock Kid snatched the old couple's radio out the car, and then he was running and hopping the fence, and then the old guy shot him and his back was messed up. I did not feel sorry for J Rock at all.
Right.
You know, you stealing people's stuff. I mean, you knew you didn't want to get shot before you broke in that car. And whatever punishment this kid is about to get, he knew he didn't want that when he went in there and shot the kid. I mean, the other kids.
People.
Who gave him access to a gun anyway?
He probably his dad or parent probably had him, and he knew where they were, and he knew the code to the safe they were in or something.
And that's why we put locks on the triggers, people, and make sure it's cleared before we put it away.
I definitely think that, like you stated, as parental
He probably knew how to unlock it too. He probably did.
And I think with me, just looking at the both sides of the situation, it's like we lose both sides. We got victims here, and then now we got a 14-year-old child who is going away for the rest of them for their lives. Like, that's a serious
It does depend, because I don't think he's gotten his sentence yet.
No, it's gonna take a little bit of time for them to because they have to get every single bit of it before they can
most likely
put the charges on.
Because he's so young, they're not going to give him life. They're going to give him 20, 30 years or something.
Well, let me ask you guys, I mean, the ones that are still, I guess, young enough or old enough to attend high school, college, does that, affect your thought process going to school? Not at all. Does it put any fear in you?
Well,
whatsoever?
it does, but like, the thing is, I think something about drills, which is kind of stupid, is because each person who shot up a school went through those same exact drills. That's why I remember in 7th grade or 6th grade, I had this teacher, and she had this lock that if somebody tried to break into the school, that even the police with their battering rams could not open that door. And she said she would always put that there if there happened to be that. So
It's sad that we're having to deal with that, to even have those type of drills now in school, placed in school.
okay, I think
It's an unfortunate situation.
And unfortunately, that same situation could happen anywhere. It has happened in churches. It could happen at somebody's
Grocery stores.
grocery
like,
stores. That could happen anywhere.
It's happened at a library.
That kind of stupidity don't have an age on it. It could happen at work. It could happen, fill in the blank. It could happen there.
I'm pretty
Whoever the ignorant fool is that decide to let the devil use them that day, it can happen, at that place.
I'm pretty sure, like, I'm not sure if it was a few years back, but this 15 or 16-year-old shot up a library just because he made videos saying it wasn't his family's fault, it wasn't his girlfriend's fault, he doesn't want them getting in trouble. It was just him being angry, and he shot up a library for it, and there's actually clips of the people inside. I think he shot, like, 2 people, and then when he saw the police came, he put his guns down and laid down and surrendered. He knew what he wanted to do, and he knew to get in trouble, so he surrendered when the cops came.
And I think that definitely lets us know that we are not fighting against flesh and blood. It's like we're definitely dealing with that situation right now where the enemy is just running rampant and using whomever, whenever, to get his mission across. And unfortunately, we're losing a lot of lives because of it.
And on that footage, too, there's this little gingerhead boy who hid in, like, this section. And, like, you can hear him saying that his dad will be okay. Like, trying to make sure he didn't, because his dad was probably there, and he was looking for kids' books. Oh, yeah. So I feel like we should move on to the next topic, which is the little school magnet things for phones now.
Bro, that's just wild. Like,
It's stupid.
I mean, the reason I saw a video earlier today, the reason they're doing it is because kids' attention spans is worse than a goldfish. I'm not making that up.
It probably
literally
is.
what it said.
That's an analogy.
It's not like 36. Yeah.
It is really low. I can testify to that. Because since I'm in high school, 9th grade, I see it all the time. I'm capable of it, too.
So you guys explain to me a little bit more about the magnet. What actually is it?
See, I don't have that at my school.
Yeah, same.
Well, I've read.
But what is it?
I've read some things on it. So basically, what they do when they get to school, they have to put their phone in this thing called a yonder pouch, and it's a magnet type thing, and you can't have access to it until the school day is over. And I guess it has like a registered timer on it from when the school day starts to when it ends to when they can get it back. And some people don't like it because they're saying, what is going to happen in case of an emergency happens? That's
Yeah.
the biggest argument
Right.
against it.
Yeah, because it makes
is a
sense.
true
Like,
point.
what if your school's being shot up? You can't call the police because all phones are locked up.
I could see both sides of the argument.
Yeah.
I could see what if it's an emergency, and I could see the phone being a distraction. Because when I went to school, we didn't have cell phones in schools, and
Oh, we know.
and we didn't even at home we had rules. We didn't have cell phone. We knew we had to be at home. We knew we had to be at home at a certain time, and if we didn't abide by the rules, we was getting our butt whooped or whatever.
Dial.
I don't think kids need cell phones.
So if we die,
I said that.
so what? Do you have any children?
Yeah.
How many?
Why?
I just want to know. Just let me know. Let me know.
4. My oldest is 28.
Okay, youngest.
18.
You want to know his social security number while you're at it?
I mean, we
I
can't
don't
be
even know
driving.
mine.
Let's have some
because-
substance.
Because imagine your kid's in school. You don't know what's happening. A school shooting is happening. You didn't buy them a phone. How are you supposed to know? Because most of the times you cannot trust over speaker announcements. You can't trust knocking at the door. You can't trust nothing.
Okay. Well, what if they in class and they ain't paying attention to the teacher because they on their Facebook and Instagram or whatever,
That's what I was going to point out. So
No
do you think that
teenagers
should
have
maybe
or
Facebook
some
be-
porn site or something?
Should that maybe be said
Okay,
for a
that-
disciplinary measure?
Remember, it's negatives and positives.
But then again, the teachers
Right.
can see it and take that phone up.
But what if they couldn't see?
There's obvious ways.
Cause
so.
like
'Cause
back then
nobody-
we had beepers, and I ain't never got caught with my beeper in school, and I used to get beeps all the time.
Because hold on.
I was a Paul Wall chick magnet when I was in high school. I been beep beep.
Okay, so I think that's a lie, but all right.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
I think I
'Cause
understand. Like
nobody
you're saying
nobody
both
does
sides
this.
to it, though.
Nobody does this and doesn't have their phone. And they're smiling too. That's how you know.
Well, I mean nothing against the new generation, but they not as. A lot of them. Common sense isn't so common with them. You gotta. Not that it's the right way to do wrong, but you gotta remember where you at. You in class. If you look like you sleeping doing something. If you look like you're doing something wrong, you are doing something wrong.
Right.
So you. If I was on my phone, my eye is on the teacher. I got a pencil, a pen in my hand. My phone is right here under the desk, and when I get a quick chance on, you know what I'm saying? My attention never looks like it's not on the teacher.
Right. And that's why I was saying I would understand it as a disciplinary measure. We have a child who's basically repeatedly being disrespectful or disruptive with their phone. Then use it for that, but don't punish all children with it. You know?
Yeah, it gotta be a each, individually,
Yeah, and I definitely agree. That's why
Every-
I say I see both sides of the situation. Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I feel like another thing, since I'm in school now, and that's why I say now. I've been in school. I'm sorry, old people. Oh no! See, I don't think before I say it. I don't think
That's
before I say it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't take any offense.
me neither. I
You
mean,
look
just,
like you're about to-
I mean,
you
just
look like
practice
you're
that
like-
proverb for no other reason, because God said we should. Proverbs 3:5 says, "Don't lean on your own understanding." The word in James says, "Be swift to listen, slow to speak."
I do understand like not paying attention thing. I see it all the time. Some girls will even like put their backpack right here in their Chromebook and have their phone resting on their Chromebook and do that. And I feel like that's all we should say for now, because now we have the suicide and like youth health topic to do now.
And I didn't want to, I try to make my points without looking like I'm criticizing young people. But the other point I was going to make is they so sloppy. They make it they make it easy for themselves to get caught. Like you just gave an example about the girl with her Chromebook and
Backpack right here.
Yeah, she looks like an idiot doing something that she ain't. You know what I'm saying?
No, because she makes it look like to where she's on her Chromebook and not on her phone. That's why we have so much good actors for this generation.
Mm-hmm.
Ow!
Okay,
I
so
accidentally bit my
what's the
tongue.
next topic?
I accidentally bit my tongue.
You good? You all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Mental health.
The mental health of kids like 13, 14 or older, or even adults too. Adults have it too. So during mental health is, I feel like, one of the most important things. If you have, even for school, good mental health, you can, because like you said, if you speak good and say, I can do this, you will most likely get good grades and good things. But if you don't, because some people are so drained of their mental health that they can't pay attention, they can't focus on their work, they're getting bad grades, and it's just making it worse and worse and worse for them.
I think that the root of the problem, as far as these people claiming mental health, nothing against but I think the root of the problem is the devil. And in other news, water is wet. And when I say that, I'm coming from a place of these people be feeling pressure. These people these mental health people, they not really strong in their faith. They don't really believe in God. I mean, they probably do, but again, they don't believe in him as strong as they should. Because if you believe in God and God is in control, it ain't no pressure. What pressure? God is in control. God has control over whatever situation that you in. Not the landlord, not the teacher, not your supervisor, none of that stuff. God is in control. You don't have to, it don't matter who tell you what. Whoever is giving you, whoever that deliverer of bad news is not in control. God is. And what confuses the devil is when you continue praising God through whatever storm that he's trying to create. So you don't have to feel that pressure or negative sense of urgency or whatever the case is.
And what my standpoint on it is of course there's a lot of people, whether it's the youth or adulthood, that are dealing with mental health crisis. It's definitely a crisis, and I'm an advocate for it because growing up, I dealt with depression. I did not have my parents around, and I did not know how to handle life. So when you're not taught how to handle certain things, or you're not taught to go to God for everything, it's easy to just say, that person doesn't know or they don't understand when they actually were never taught. So I think it's important for people like such as us, that disciples, to go out there and spread the gospel, because some people are lost. We are living in a broken world. So if anyone, that does watch this podcast is dealing with any type of mental health issue, just know that you're not alone. There are people that you can speak with. You can dial 988 from your phone. You can also text it from your phone. And that is a mental health crisis hotline, and with people there that will willing to assist you with any situation that you're going through. So I just want to put that out there. But just also, like you were saying, it's spiritual warfare. A lot of people need to understand that, like I was saying before when we were talking about the child with the shooting, we're not fighting flesh and blood. So it's a war that is beyond us. So we just have to learn us that are willing and knowledgeable and have the spirit to teach others, like we're meant to go into a broken world and save other broken people,
Yeah.
Amen.
The thing that I also think about is when the devil knows he can't use you the way he wants to, he'll try to wear you out.
Yes.
He'll try to wear you out through not talking to people, not talking to your parents, not talking to anybody, making you think you can do it on your own. That's why in relationships is such an important thing, because you need to have that person that you can reach out to when you're feeling a certain type of way. Hey, man, I'm feeling depressed, man. Hey, come on, man. Come on. Let me talk to you. Let's talk through this. Let's read the word, man. Come on.
And that's a good point that
Amen.
you made, because I also want to let, not even just with adults, but children, when you are amongst your peers, it's important for the youth to understand that you can impact a child with the way that you talk to them or treat them. You never know what that child is going through at home. They could be going through a physical abuse, mental abuse, and you've been mean to that child at school and talking about the kind of clothes that they wear or the way they wear their hair and things of that sort. You may think that it's funny, and it may, make fun amongst your other peers, but you don't know how you impact that person. So it's very important for us all to be intentional with whom we interact with and how we show respect amongst each other. Because like I said, ultimately, just like the 14-year-old, you don't know what triggered him, and it could have been someone just bullying him and saying mean things to him, and that was it. Because he could be getting abused at home, and that was his only way to release his rage, because he can't release his rage on his mom or his dad. So he felt like the next person to release his rage on was children. That was his peers. So, and now we got an unfortunate situation because nobody paid attention or no one showed an act of kindness.
Yeah, and if it's a bullying situation, a lot of the times they're not gonna discuss that with the parents because they embarrassed to talk about it.
Or they're scared.
Exactly.
A couple of things that my church loves to preach on that I feel like ties in very well with this is, first one is, there's a reason why your windshield is bigger than your rearview mirror. Because God's more important about what's ahead in your life than what's behind in your life.
Come on, I like
Nice.
that too.
And no matter, this is another thing that they preach heavily. Even if you are having a bad day today, you've survived 100% of your worst days.
Right. Absolutely.
Keep talking.
Yes.
No matter, even if you have, let's say, a really bad week 2 weeks ago or something like that, and you're thinking, man, that week was really horrible. You survived that week. You survived 100% of that week, and there's nothing devil can't do with you against that.
So let me ask you guys a question. Since we know that there's a crisis going on and there's a lot of things going on within the school system, do you think that it would be more beneficial to have maybe like more Bible studies or implement God more in the school system? Because that's a huge issue right now.
Yeah.
It does
Yeah.
depend. because there are like a lot of different cultures, a lot of different religions. Like there's like I've seen Muslim kids at my school, or because it kind of depends. Like religion is passed down from the parents. If your mom or dad wasn't Christian, they were Muslim, you don't really understand that. So you could be scared of it. Like some people be like, I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what that is, but I wasn't taught that. I don't understand it.
But the thing is, it should be done, you know. But the thing is, these school districts, you know, they closer to the devil than they are to God. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandmother, she used to drive the school bus back in the day, and she got fired from the district for talking to the kids about Jesus on the school bus. You know, so
Yeah, the school. I feel like people should watch how kids act on a school bus versus school, because on their way to school they might be yelling, they might be loud and same thing, but notice how happier they are. I think you okay?
oh, I appreciate it. I'm hanging in there.
Oh, I forgot your shoulder thing. Because I've noticed since I have to hear, I sit on it. A lot of kids, they're way more happier, even though they're tired, at the end and on the school bus, because they're like, finally, yes, I get to escape from this place for so long. Because also at my school, there's like a Bible study club. I'm pretty sure, yeah, there is. But like as you said.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point, because these kids, they're at school for a lengthy amount of time. You there from 7 to 3, 7, whatever the case
7
is.
7 a.m. to like 4.
And you going through that like 18 years of your life alone before you start working, before you start your adulthood stuff or whatever. So these schools, they do take a lot of your time, a significant amount of your time. And another point that I was gonna make about these schools being closer to the devil, unfortunately, because schools, they'll try to get you to compromise with the gay shenanigans. And before we got on, before we started talking, they trying to compromise with this furry stuff. If they were square business about God, they'd be like, no, this is unacceptable. You know, we ain't doing it. You know, we ain't perfect, but we ain't gonna do none of that.
Right. And I think that was another subject we were having off topic about homeschooling. You know, like, how do you guys feel about, you know, us going back into it?
So one thing, like, about what AD was talking about, like, it being close to the devil, because for some reason, kids now, they're doing drugs in the bathroom. They're vaping in the bathroom. They're doing inappropriate, like, not like drug inappropriate, but sexually inappropriate stuff in the bathroom. Because there's no cameras in the bathroom. I'm not saying there should be, because that's just gross.
It's also illegal.
Right.
Yeah. Because, like, you don't want to look up and be like,
What was your question on the homeschooling? Because I was a homeschool kid myself.
Right.
You're
I
saying,
just
like,
wanted
how
to
do we
know,
feel
like, a
going back
quick-
into it?
Yeah, quick, brief discussion on it. Like, do you guys feel like maybe
It really
that
depends on the
should-
kid.
Yeah.
It depends on the kid, because, like, ADHD kids, at home, there's so many distractions. Because I have ADHD, I have autism. So, look, at home, it's the hardest place for me to focus.
Okay.
But then again, my other friend, Devin, who has ADD, and he excels. He's smarter than me. He does extremely well in homeschool. I know people who either do really bad or really good in homeschool. It really depends on the kid's learning style and how the kid acts.
Thank you for sharing
Homeschooling really wasn't that hard to me, even though I did get out of focus a lot of times. It's, first of all, it's definitely not cheap whatsoever. It costs like $700 just for
Actually,
textbooks and all that. But
I didn't have
the
to
things
use
they
that.
teach that I've seen, because I have a lot of friends who went to public school compared to me doing a homeschool, is the fact that they actually, in homeschool, we actually teach the Word of God and everything.
This
Amen.
was an amazing discussion, you guys.
Yeah, so I think we have to wrap it up now.
Yeah, go on and wrap it
This
up.
has been the God's Point Chat Podcast, or GPC, whatever you want to call it. We have AD,
Yeah.
Seth,
Lachey.
and me, Avery.
Thank you,
yeah,
guys. It
like,
was a
follow,
pleasure.
subscribe, and do comment suggestions.
Keep
And
God
put God
first.
Comment things you want us to talk about.
Ow!
Bye.
Boom!